Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. And today on the channel, I'm going to be talking about a brand new crime drama film called Breaking. But is this film any good, and does it actually hold up to the actual true events? Find out in my review next. A Marine War veteran faces mental and emotional challenges when he tries to reintegrate into civilian life. The film stars John Boyega, Nicole Beharie, Selenis Leyva, Michael Kenneth Williams, Connie Britton, Jeffrey Donovan, Olivia Washington, and London Covington, and was directed by Abi Damaris Corbin. Breaking was one of those films that came out in theaters back in August, and it didn't come to my theaters. It was only in about 900 theaters. I had never seen a trailer for this film, and recently it came out on Blu-ray, and I read the back of the Blu-ray just to see what the film was actually about. So it follows this Marine guy named Brown-Easley. He is not getting payments anymore from the Veterans Administration. They stopped coming in, and he decides he's going to go to the Wells Fargo Bank and he's going to hold a bunch of people hostage, and he wants to get his story out there. So he apparently has a bomb in his backpack, and he holds up this bank, and the story here is he's really trying to reach out to this Veterans Administration and get the money that he thinks that he is owed. The film takes place in one central location. It's only about 10 minutes into the film, and we already get to the action of the bank robbery. And I have to say, one thing that I really praise about this film, after I watched this film and it wrapped up, and I actually got to research a little bit about this film, one of the things that you always think of when you're watching a film like this, and the fact that it's a historical type of film, is the film accurate? And I have to say, this film is pretty accurate. Other than the fact they changed a few names because of copyright reasons, and obviously they don't want any lawsuits, everything is pretty accurate in this film. I liked that they did a really good job with the clothing, to having the glasses, to having all the different extension of how his personality was, and even the phone call that he makes. If you really read up on the actual story of this, it's a really interesting story, and something that really brings up a lot of things that are really happening to actual veterans. Now, I've never been in the military. I don't really have any family that was in the military, but from what I can tell from this film is you have someone that came out of the military, he has some mental problems, some PTSD, and I really think that someone that actually has served this country, they really shouldn't be actually just crying out for help. It seems like the military, once you're out of the military, it's just like, we appreciate you, bye, that's it. And it's like, when there is any type of trouble for these veterans, it seems like they don't have anywhere to turn. And I just find that that's really ridiculous, and it's very heartless of the country to really act towards people like that. Now, I don't agree that actually going to an actual bank, holding people hostage is the right way to really go about things, but how this story actually unfolds, it's very interesting because this isn't your normal robber that's trying to kill people and gun people down and hurt people. He's really polite. He's very much different from other bank robbers, and really he's not really even trying to actually rob the bank. He really is just trying to get this check back from the Veterans Administration. And what blows my mind is it was only $892. We're not talking millions of dollars here. We're talking about money just so this guy can actually keep living. And he's living out of hotels, and really he wanted the money because he really wanted to buy his daughter a dog. And that's something that I found to be really sentimental, because you have a guy here that really wasn't making any money, and he's thinking about others, his family, even though that him and his wife are actually divorced and separated. From what I can tell and from the stories that I've heard about this man is he was a good man for the most part. And when you have these different mental problems, it's really hard for normal people that actually are thinking clearly to really sympathize with people that actually have these problems, because you have a normal functioning brain and these other people don't. It really brings up points that we still have a little bit more to go as far as police training in this actual movie, because you could definitely see in this movie that police training could have been a little bit better at points. And I personally don't believe that if somebody really isn't doing anything violent to actually kill someone, then I don't believe that what actually happens in this film was actually necessary. I think it is really sad that there are people out there, Black specifically, that have to worry about actual cops actually shooting and killing them. That shouldn't be something that is really still happening, and it is something that is still happening, and it's a really tough subject, and I know this may spark some debate, and I don't want any debate in my comments actually about this subject, but my whole point about this film is we could be a lot better society, especially in the military, helping others that have actually tried to actually better this country. And when we just say thank you, and when they're in times of need and we can't actually provide that help to former people that have served and have actually helped this country to not be attacked by others and just to actually provide peace in the country, I think this situation could have been avoided, and I think we could have did a little bit better job as a society actually helping out this man. Now, as far as the movie, it's not one of those movies that has a ton of action, explosions. You're not getting that kind of film. And you also have this actual guy that is the negotiator. He is also black as well, played by Michael K. Williams. I think Michael K. Williams does a really good job in his role, and he is also in the military as well. And I actually did fact check that he was actually in the military, as they state in this film. And I found that it was really interesting, the conversations that they actually had. They have some really personal conversations in this film. And I can't lie, this film definitely did tug on my heartstrings. It really did make me think about a lot of the events really going on in the country right now. And after they show the actual aftermath as to what actually happened, what was the result, I wanted to learn a little bit more. And they show a little bit in the captions as to what happened after the fact, but they don't show the whole story as to the after effects of this actual ending. And so when I actually did go online and actually read a little bit more, I thought that the whole actual real life story as to the after effects of this film, I think it's absolutely BS. I think the way that it was handled, it's just one of those things where it just seems to be just kind of brushed under the carpet and nothing really does get solved. And I really think that until there is a little bit more done about certain situations with veterans and people with PTSD, we really are going to keep having problems like this. And I think that this film tries to actually send that message that you have somebody that necessarily wasn't a bad person. He went into a bad situation, obviously, that he wasn't thinking clearly, and this was a cause of him actually trying to do something good for this country. And until we actually do a little bit more about mental health and actually helping others out, situations like this will continue to occur. So that's my review for this film. I would give a score of this film a 4 out of 5. I definitely think that you guys should check it out. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think about this film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it kind of meh? Like I said, it's not one of those action-packed kind of films, but it's definitely a character study, and obviously it's on a real life event. So I think that you'll like a little bit about the historical portion about this film, and that was what really kept me really interested about this film. And overall, I thought the performances were pretty good here, and I enjoyed John Boyega as actually covering Brian, and I really did like seeing this other guy, Michael K. Williams, actually be the negotiator and actually hold this film together and make it really interesting for what it was, especially being in a one centralized location. But thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys on my next review.